friends? What's good? I'm back. Sorry. Got a phone call before, froze up my phone, and that happens. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. I'm trying to figure out those little kinks. I'm not very computer telephone savvy, as a lot of you probably already know, and that's a good thing because I like to put more of my time and energy into playing guitar. Oh, see, there we go. But hey, that's what this is all about, right? Learning. So what's going on? Let me turn on the messages, right? I'm gonna try to stay on here for a little bit. So there we go. You guys got any questions, man? As you know, I'm always here hanging out, talking, and answering questions for you guys. Talk about anything you want. Nothing is too taboo. I try to keep things positive, but depending on what you ask me, maybe I'm not always very positive, but that's life, you know? Favorite food? Well, honestly, I try to eat healthy. I love to work out. I'm a big fan of all types of combat sports. Love calisthenics, love kettlebell workouts. So I try to eat healthy, but I do love pizza. I'm Italian, so I grew up eating a lot of pasta and eating a lot of pizza. And I live in New Jersey, so we got some of the best pizza in the country. And unless you live here and have eaten this pizza, I'm sorry, but we got the best pizza. I don't care what anyone says. I've tried pizza all over the world, all over the place, and even in Italy. I mean, it's excellent in Italy, but I think here in Jersey we really perfected pizza making skills. And of course that's a very controversial topic. Thoughts on Christian's new band? I'm assuming you're referring to Chris from El Nino, old ex El Nino. I heard it, and I think it's good. I think what they're doing, they're doing their thing. It sounds like what I would expect it to sound like. I'm sure the live show is probably different. That was always my opinion about what was going on in El Nino back in the day. But I liked it. I thought what I heard from what are they called again? Something Lions. I liked it. I thought it was cool, man. And here's the thing when bands break up that I want to talk about is that obviously it sucks for us fans when bands break up and people stop working together. But here's the bright side of it is that you get more music per year. It's like when Sepultura or the original Sepultura broke up. Well, now you had Andreas doing his version, and then you had Max doing Soulfly. And guess what? That's 2 records a year now. So you know what? For the fans, man, I think it's a win-win situation. Um, you may like one band better than the other, but still, it's more music. It's more productivity, if that's a word, right? So that's the way I look at that, the whole El Nino split. And like I announced earlier today, I'm rejoining El Nino. It'll be official soon. I'm in the studio recording. I love the new songs. I love their new singer, Marcos. I've been wanting to work with this dude since 2015 when I first toured with him with his band Shattered Sun and Soulfly. Me and that dude, we really we hit it off. We became really good friends. We go out to the bars after the shows and hang out. And I loved Shattered Sun. I thought they were one of the most talented bands I've ever toured with. And Marcos is an incredible singer. So I was approached, by my good friend Laz and by Dave, and asked if I, once they knew I was done with Soulfly, they basically asked me, well, let me rewind. We did the reunion video 6-7 months ago. They were in contact with me during this whole pandemic, which I thought was really cool. That my old friends from my old band hit me up more than the guys in the band that I thought I was in, right? So we all kind of reconnected during this pandemic and talked a lot. We did the reunion video, and I heard the new stuff. And I'll tell you, man, I'm a big fan of Marcos's vocals. He sounds just as good live as he does on CD, which is the big deal for me, because I'm the live show to me is what's really matters. And I heard their new stuff they've been writing. I love it. I think it's freaking awesome. And I'm recording. So I'm in the studio yesterday and this week again, and I'm putting down my rhythms, solos all over this new El Nino record. Um, and I plan on hitting the road with them when the next tour pops up. So I'm excited, man. You know, this I want to say that this is it's a new El Nino. This is a different. Um, Sorry, what was that question, bro? Ask again. It's this isn't the El Nino I was in back in 2002. It's like a much more mature, professional, cooler vibe, everything. And it's been amazing to reconnect with Laz and Dave, and then to also now be with Marco singing, who again he's one of my favorite singers in metal. So I think this is a great decision, man. Especially with everything that's been going on in my life this year. I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of thinking. It's amazing how many fans came out when we did that reunion back in February, um, that were like very emotional about seeing me playing with El Nino again. So it was a real eye opener, man. I think this is an exciting time. And here's the bottom line: wait till you hear the music. When this new El Nino record drops, I promise you, it's all gonna make sense to you. You know, this decision. For us to start working together again. From their point of view, I think, and mine also. So it's a very positive, cool thing. Again, this is the way I look at it is that, listen, Soulfly isn't the band I joined back in 2003. A lot of things have changed in that band. Obviously, very noticeably. You guys, I'm sure, would admit to that. And El Nino is a different vibe now also. So this is cool, man. I'm really stoked to work with Laz, Dave, Marcos, and the other new guys too. Um, it's gonna be cool, man. And then I'm also doing Hail the Horns with my good friend Tony Campos. November we're going on tour with that, and then I'm also doing my project Revenge Beast, and then my solo stuff. And here's the cool thing with El Nino. Dave and Laz and everybody in the band have been very supportive with like my solo stuff. So this is really cool too because I never got that support with Soulfly. I don't feel like anyone really ever cared much about what I do outside of the band, which is cool. That's everyone's opinion. Um, but the El Nino guys are very much behind it, and Laz is going to be helping me with management too. So I'm excited. Yeah, you guys are gonna love this new El Nino record. I promise, man. I've been in the studio listening to these new songs, and I think it's some of the best shit they've ever done, and I'm super stoked to be part of it and put my input, my leads. They want shredding solos on it, so sign me up. I'm the guy, man. So again, this is you heard it here first. There will be an official press release. I'm sure it's going to be a big jaw dropper for a lot of people, but it makes sense to me. It's a very logical, very, I think, intelligent decision, where my life's been going and what the situations that I have been put into because of the pandemic and everything. And I think it's cool. I think, again, for the fans, this is a win-win situation. Soulfly is going to continue, though I'm sure they're going to get some great shredder kid that'll do my parts. Good for them. And, what I'm going to do with El Nino, I think now is going to be the next level in my playing. I've been practicing a lot during this pandemic. I will say that I've definitely made a lot of leaps and bounds in my practicing and my playing. And I plan on demonstrating it on this new El Nino record, and also Hail the Horns, Revenge Beast, my new solo record. So this is like 4 new bands that are going to be very active and working. So salute to all you guys. Thank you for all the support and the friendship. I'm drinking my coffee late at night. I probably won't sleep tonight, but so be it. All right, I'm gonna do some jams, man. So feel free to ask away any questions you want. I have no problem playing and talking. I'm on my phone. It's not someone else's phone. I'm on my phone. I can read your comments as you're looking at me. I'm looking at those comments. So ask away. And nothing is too taboo. I don't stray away from questions, all right? Yo, JT. What's up, JT? I appreciate all the support, man. I've been reading a lot of your comments online, and I'm glad you recognize and see things for what they are. Thank you. You're awesome. I'm gonna try to stay on here for an hour today, everybody. So feel free to ask away. I'm in a funky jazz mood, so let's do some funky jazz. See what we got. Oh, and then if you guys are digging my workout videos, let me know, because maybe later tonight I'll bring you into my garage where the magic happens, where I do my workouts, you know, or I go to parks, but it's kind of late now, dark, no light at the parks, you know, which is cool. If you handled recording all the guitars and his rhythm parts in the recordings, well, you know, Windows 95. That's a very controversial. Um, that's a very controversial talk. You know, I definitely did a lot more than what I got credit for on the records. I will say that. It just was, you know, it was just something that just started to happen. You know, I think when you put me in the studio, you know, I'm the first guy there, and I'll stay there until 2 in the morning. I'm always the last one to leave with the producer, um, and I was put into situations where I had to get the record done. You know, well, you know, things happen for a reason. You know, again, El Nino obviously has had some changes, and those changes definitely, you know, is what made me consider this whole coming back. You know, have I ever stage dove into a crowd? Oh yeah, dude, many times, my friend. Many times, all time, especially around here where I live at shows. Um, anyway, so yeah, you know, El Nino went through some changes too, and I think this is really good timing. And you know, here's the thing, man. People got to get over drama and stuff like that. Um, that's a good riff. That's a good riff. The Warlord riff, man. I love that song. That's a great riff, man. It's got some of my favorite solos on it too. You know, the thing with band beef, people got to understand, dude. You know, in everyone's defense, it's not easy being in a band and living with people and trying to make things fair for everybody. Um, yeah, I could jam that. Only thing is I don't have a 7 string, but I'll play it on the 6 string, tuned to E. It's gonna sound a little different. Lost here coming to this world. Those are actually Cro-Mag's lyrics. I don't know how he got away with that. Anyway, it sounds different on the 6 string. But you know, it's not easy being in a band and living with people on the bus, guys. You know, um, it is what it is, man. You know, but sometimes time does heal things. Um, I know in my case with El Nino, you know, catching up with Laz and Dave felt really great. You know, because you know, I always had a love and a respect for those guys. You know, Dave was always like an older big brother to me, and so was Laz. You know, and they both really gave me. You know, I was a young kid, and when I met them, you know, so I always looked up to those guys. You know, and shit happens and things happen. Um, but you know, I think it's cool when time goes by and people hang out and talk, leave the managers at home and just bands do it, you know. And I think this is an amazing thing that I'm doing it, and the music is gonna speak volumes. I promise you. When you hear this new El Nino record, you're gonna be like, oh shit, now I get it. Um, and you know, why can't Sepultura do it, right? I don't know. I'm not. I was never in that band, so I don't know why. But I know we're doing it with El Nino, and it's gonna be cool, dude. The music will speak for itself. I can't wait. I can't wait for you guys to hear um, what we're writing in the studio right now and what I've heard already. You know, they have a lot of stuff already written, and a lot of it is just me adding my little flavor to it. You know, solos. They want a lot of shredding leads, which I think is cool because El Nino, we never really did that when I was in the band back in the day, and now everybody wants it. So I think it's gonna be a band to really reckon with, man. It's gonna be some brutal, heavy but melodic. You know, it's gonna be the El Nino style that I was part of creating also back in those days. You know, so and I'll tell you what, it's cool to be in a band where, you know, these guys all sit down and tell you, yeah, yo, Rizzo wrote on that record. You know, and that means a lot to me. You know, when I look back at my career, I like that. You know, there's people in bands I was in that will tell the truth about, you know, um, what I put on a record. So salute. It's gonna be good times, guys. It's going to be good. And I know a lot of you El Nino fans are going to be super stoked, you know, because I'll tell you, when we did that reunion video, the feedback that I got and everyone got, man, apparently it was very, very big to some people. You know, I don't think I really realized how important that Revolution record was to a lot of fans, and apparently it was. So that's pretty cool. But I will say we're gonna make a record even better than that record. So get ready, because it's gonna turn some heads, yo. It's really gonna turn some heads. Right on, Bass Hank. I'm glad you're excited, because I am too. It's definitely gonna have some of my best guitar playing on it. I promise you that. Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. That was one of the first songs I ever wanted to learn. Another, but I don't know, man. I like writing songs, you know, just like letting it rip, like I'm doing right now, improvising. But I guess I should do another, right? I have to think about like what I'm gonna play. Those are cool. It's like on Gibsons, right? Right, aren't they on Gibsons? My Great Holy Spirit in a little bit. Yeah, you gotta have low action, man. You shouldn't have high action unless you're playing slide. Yeah, you want to have pretty low action, man. I try to keep mine as low as I can, without any string buzz. It's important. You only really want high action if you're playing slide guitar. Um, you know, there's really no point in high action, and it ruins your intonation too. If your strings are super high off the fretboard, you're not gonna be in tune. I know a guy who keeps his strings super high off the fretboard because his tech doesn't know what he's doing, and you'll never be in tune. He never was in tune. So it's not. There's no point in having high action. It's defeats the purpose of playing guitar, guys. My favorite delay pedal, Boss. I love the Boss DS1, I think it is, right? The white pedal with the blue knobs. That's all. Oh, listen, all Boss pedals have always been my go-to effects. I love them. And besides that, MXR. MXR actually makes a really good delay pedal too. There's that analog delay. I have it here somewhere, and that's a great pedal too, man. But I think for the price um, and longevity, Boss pedals. I mean, I got Boss pedals from like 20 years ago, 30 years ago that still work perfectly. They're great pedals. So salute to Boss. Hold on, let me turn my fan on, man. It's getting a little hot up in here. Yeah, Boss tuners are great, dude. I mean, listen, man, Boss has been around forever. I'm a big fan of Boss pedals. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's that saying, you know. I'm really not into all this new fancy gear, equipment. The only thing I do like, that I mess with is, like right now I'm using a Fender. It's one of these newer Fender Twins. It's got a built-in delay. I do like these new amplifiers that come with the built-in effects, especially in the last like 5 or 10 years. I really like the Boss Katana. I've been using that head a lot. Shout out to my buddy who bought that, and he sent it to me, which is really cool. And I love that head. I like the little combos. Like this little Fender I'm using over here. This is just a little combo, and it sounds great. I like the Roland stuff, Roland micro cubes. Those are really cool. This tour that I just did with Whiskey Dick, they always lend me their Roland micro cube. It's a really cool amp. It's like, I don't even know, like 20, 30 watts or something. And it was loud and it works great, man. So I do like these new amplifiers that come with the built-in delay. That's pretty cool because I can't stand plugging in delay through the SEM return, and you have to do that. That's the only way you can get delay to sound good is through the SEM return. And it's just a pain in the ass to have to, bring that around. The fastest tremolo. I don't know. I have the fastest tremolo. You mean tremolo picking or tremolo? Maybe tremolo picking. I don't know. I think Eddie Van Halen, who today's his 1-year anniversary of his death. By the way, everybody, I'm sure you all knew that. The greatest of all time. He's one of my all-time favorites, obviously. But I think he had the fastest tremolo. The PV Studio Pro, yeah, PVs are great. Obviously, I've always used PVs also. I love the PV 6505 Plus, the 5150. Those are great amps, But like I said, I'm really getting into these new amps that have built-in delay. So maybe if PV comes out with something with delay, maybe I'll use that. As far as strings, I love GHS, man. GHS has always done me great, man. It's funny, I rarely pop strings nowadays since I've been playing GHS. Some acoustic jams, yeah, I will eventually, dude. I've been taking a little break from the acoustic stuff. Maybe next time I'll go on and go acoustic. I don't know, man. I've been taking a little break. I go back and forth, I go through phases where I just play acoustic guitar all the time, and then I play electric all the time. So right now I'm going through an electric phase, Oh yeah, I never saw Van Halen live, but I love all their live DVDs. Everything on YouTube. Yeah, I'll check out the Spark, man. I don't know what that is. Is that a PV amp? Was endorsed with PV. I haven't talked to anyone there in a long time. I kind of lose contact with endorsements. I should be a little bit more on top of that stuff. But honestly, I don't like to bother people, man. I'm not one of these guys in a band, who constantly calls up their rep just to bullshit and to, I don't know, do rock star stuff. Like, I'm not like that, man. I like to give people their space. I don't like to bother these reps. I don't like to ask for a million guitars, and a million things. And, but hey, man, you gonna fly me out to NAMM? Like, I'm not one of those guys, man. I don't like to be annoying like that. So, I probably lost contact with some of my reps at PV, and I need to connect with them. Who's my favorite bass player? I'm real picky with bass players, actually. I really prefer bass players from the 60s and 70s. I like that warm tone. I love Geezer Butler and what he did with Black Sabbath. I think when you have a bass player like Geezer Butler in the band, you don't need a rhythm guitar player because they hold it down. They know how to work that frequency. But I would say Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee from Rush is probably one of my favorite bass players of all time, and incredible shredding bass player. And he sings on top of it and sings melodically. Yeah, I can play Prophecy, but I'm on a 6-string again. That to play Prophecy, I need to be tuned down to B on my 7-string. I don't have a 7-string here today, guys. I've been taking a break from the 7-string stuff, honestly, man. Playing more 6-string nowadays. Yeah, I love Geddy Lee, man. I love Rush. They're one of my favorite bands. I mean, Prophecy is just 2 notes, guys. No big deal. This is the prophecy. This is the prophecy. We'll probably play that song in Hail the Horns, guys, because in Hail the Horns, we plan on playing a lot of the Soulfly stuff, especially from the era that me and Tony Campos were part of, Yeah, living in the limelight. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, if you guys, if you have any questions from the Soulfly songs, I'd love to show you guys the correct way to play that stuff. Look, it is what it is, man. There's been a lot of on the Soulfly page. I don't agree with a lot of the ways Max has been showing you guys some of the songs that properly. Sorry, it's more than an opinion; it's a fact. He's skipping whole riffs, so. If you have questions and you want to know how to play those songs correctly, I'll show you, particularly like Frontline, And it's in standard E. It's not a drop E. Drop E doesn't even exist. There's a drop D tuning, but there's nothing true of drop E. It doesn't exist. We never recorded in drop E. I would never tune my guitar to drop E. It makes no sense. It honestly would ruin the intonation on your guitar if you did that. But this is how Frontlines really was played on the record. Back to what it is, guys. That's how it is, though. Very sick riff, dude. It's my riff. So that's the influence I had on the band, guys. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. It's right there. I have riffs like that on my solo records. Just like that. Soulfly never did riffs like that. Never. That's a very inspired by like Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel and obviously Slayer, and that's my influence I brought on the band. Well, thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that, bro. When I was home during the pandemic, and then having to work a job, getting up at 6 a.m, it was very frustrating to hear you guys writing me and trying to ask me about the riffs that maybe were being played on the Soulfly feeds, and they were not correct, and here I am with a hammer in my hand, putting up sheetrock and killing myself, when I could have been doing this stuff for you guys, and I never, I was doing it on my page, but obviously I wasn't teaching on the Soulfly pages, which have way more viewers than I have. It's not a good look, and you guys, a lot of you complained, and a lot of people hit me up, so that's a very controversial question, Renato. Did you compose all the crazy riffs? I mean, listen, man, I had a major part. with my time in the band, a major part. You know, I'm not going to get too into detail about it, but use your ear, use your common sense, and I'm proud of those records, man. I worked very hard in the studio. I was very passionate on making those records, and it just, I feel I was putting in more than what I was getting out at this point, especially during the pandemic, But it's okay because I got 4 new bands now that I'm putting all my energy into. The one thing I will say about my time with El Nino on the first 2 El Nino records was I got credit for my writing. I still get publishing checks and royalties from my writing. Everyone in El Nino will tell you, I was part of the writing. That's all stuff I never got with Soulfly. And whatever, it is what it is, man. It's the deal of the band. That's the agreement. Is what it is. But look, things are great now. I'm doing Hail the Horns, where I'm going to be writing a lot. I'm going to be doing Revenge Beast. Oh yeah. Yeah, Living Sacrifice. That's actually a riff from one of my old hardcore bands from New Jersey, Yeah, I'll be in Houston, man. I'm always there, What up in France? What up? Yeah, so that riff for Living Sacrifice, that used to be a riff in my old death metal band called Crankcase. And we were from New Jersey, and that was one of the first riffs I brought to the table, when we made the Prophecy record. So here it is. There it is. Very technical, triplets. Not a Soulfly style riff at all. It was something that I brought to the table, no doubt about it. Do I practice Jiu Jitsu? You know what, man? I love Jiu Jitsu. I train. I've been training for a long time at a gym here. I don't even have a stripe. I just constantly on the road. But I love Jiu Jitsu. I would like to train more. I kind of took a break from Jiu Jitsu just because of the whole pandemic. And, I love the art of Jiu Jitsu. But when the pandemic hit, it was like, I don't know if I want to be on the ground with a guy on top of me sweating. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people said that. But I prefer, I love Muay Thai and boxing. I grew up doing that more than Jiu-Jitsu, but I would like to get more into Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling. I do love it. I love all combat sports, man. I love them all, and I love training in all different styles, and then also with weights and kettlebell. I love it all, man. I love staying healthy and active. It's something that I'm very passionate about, just like music, I don't know the whole John Wick thing. I think I might have seen one of those movies, I don't like movies where people are getting their heads blown off left and right, man. And I'm not really into all that stuff, I need like elves and dwarfs and dragons and swords, I'm more into that kind of stuff, Rock climbing. Man, I'm not crazy about heights, honestly. I would do it like at the gyms, where they don't go too high maybe. But yeah, I'm not too crazy about heights, man. It kind of freaks me out. I toured with Morbid Angel. I've hung out with Trey, but I've never jammed with Trey. And I absolutely love Morbid Angel. They're one of my favorite death metal bands, And it's Revenge Beast is very influenced by a lot of the Florida early 90s death metal, That's the era I love. Joe Satriani or Inve. That's a tough one, man. That's a real tough one. I may have to go with Inve, bro. I love Satch. I love Satch's songwriting. I love everything about Joe Satch. I probably even listen to Satch maybe a little bit more. But Inve is just, man, I don't know what it is, dude. And his newer records, I think, keep getting better and better, too, man. Like, people don't realize, I know he kind of gets a bad, I don't know, mortification. I never heard of him. I gotta check it out. But Inve, I think, just gets better and better, and I just love Inve, man. I'm a huge Inve Malmsteen fan, Huge Inve fan, but I love Satch too. I mean, honestly, like for my solo, my whole idea was to be like Inve Malmsteen meets Joe Satriani with some Dimebag Darrell in the middle, Agents of Man, hell yeah, man, they were great, dude. I don't know, man. I think they I guess broke up or took a little break, but Agents of Man was great, dude. I love those guys. I did some shows with them, man. They were all cool as hell, and excellent band out of Jersey. They definitely had their own vibe, I love Marty Friedman, dude. Marty Friedman is one of my favorite guitar players of all time, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'll tell you, man. People don't really, I don't think, recognize around the country all the amazing, talented bands that are from New Jersey. I mean, this is a metal hardcore mecca of such amazing bands. I mean, one of my favorite bands of all time is Overkill. And Bobby Blitz doesn't live far from me, and I've toured with those guys. And one of the best tours I ever did was with Overkill. I mean, I'm obsessed with Overkill. They're one of my favorite bands. Carved Inside, that's another Soulfly song that I had a big part riffing. Carved inside, carved outside, feeling all Soulfly in the sky. Remember the lyrics? Yeah. Feel your soul inside. Those are all thrash riffs, man. Again, Soulfly never had riffs like that until I joined the band. Like this. Coming outside, feeling your soul in the sky. Listen, we're gonna do a lot of those songs with Hail the Horns, man. I promise you, dude. Me and Tony have talked about it, and there's a lot of songs, even off of some of the records that me and Tony were part of, that we never even played live with Soulfly. So we're gonna make a point with Hail the Horns to play all this stuff. So Hail the Horns. What else, man? What else? What's good, people? I'm gonna probably do another jam here, another funky jazz jam. I don't know if a lot of you noticed, some of you have, I know, but I'm going through like this really big Eric Johnson phase, man. I'm just like obsessed with Eric Johnson right now, man. I'm trying to learn all his licks, and I don't want to rip him off, man, but I'm trying to incorporate some of his vibes in my songs and my soloing. And it's not easy, dude. He does this whole thing he does with pentatonic scales, blows my mind away, man. Blows my mind away. That wasn't it, but this stuff. Pentatonics and fives, man, blows my mind away. What's your favorite obscure record? I don't know. It's a good question. Like what? Like a different style of music or something? I don't know. Off the top of my head, I'll say something that's not metal that would be obscure for me. Today I was watching a video of House of Pain. I love House of Pain. Like, I'm not really into rap music, but I do like House of Pain, Cypress Hill, stuff like that. That's the only rap I really like, is that early 90s stuff like House of Pain, Yeah, you know what, man? I love Death. They were a very big influence on me. I'm sure you can hear it in a lot of my riffs. There were songs like with Soulfly, that I came up with that were very, very influenced by Death, like For All the Psychophants. Very, very Death influence. I got this one riff I came up with. Very Death influence. I love Death. I don't really know any of their songs offhand. By the time I got into Death, I was already kind of writing my own stuff. But I should learn some Death songs because Chuck was very influential on me, man. But there was a lot of songs on the Conquer record. where me and Joe Nunez, at the time, that's another guy that I feel it doesn't get the credit he deserves, with also being part of changing the Soulfly sound to more of a thrash metal, back to the old school Sepultura sound. Joe Nunez had a lot to do with that too during the Prophecy record, and we discovered that we both had this passion and love for old school death metal and thrash. We would sit there and jam this stuff in the studio, and Max would hear us and be like, "Yo, what is that? Like, let's record that. That's great." So he would hear these riffs that I was doing, and Joe was putting these crazy thrash beats, and that's how Frontlines was written. That's how Fall the Sycophants. There's another song called My Path was written like that. Corrosion Creeps. These were songs where Joe and I were like vibing on this death metal thrash thing on our own, like just in the studio, nobody else in the room, just me and Joe, and just coming up with these crazy, and that had a big part of why Soulfly went back to more of a thrash metal sound, was because Joe Nunez and I were playing this stuff, and we had the ability to play this stuff too. So hey, it is what it is, guys. Someone asked, what's my favorite genre? Thrash metal. I love 80s thrash metal. That's still my favorite music of all time. The riffing, the guitar playing, again, Overkill, old Anthrax, old Metallica, Slayer, Haha, that's cool. You had him, okay. In Brazil, Viva Brazil, you had a Malmsteen shirt. That's cool, man. You don't see Inve Malmsteen shirts around very often. I would love to rock one. That'd be cool as shit. I love it. Rat. I love Rat. I love Warren DeMartini, man. I love hair metal. But no, I don't consider Rat thrash metal. They were, like a hair metal, just a metal band, But they're great. I freaking love Rat. I mean, Rat's incredible, man. They were a great band, and I absolutely love Warren DeMartini. He's up there in my list, man. I love all the 80s metal guitar players. George Lynch, DeMartini, Jakey Lee, Red Beach, John Sykes, who else? Vito Bratta. I mean, those are all like hair metal guys, but they were great players, man, They still played. They weren't faking it, Hell yeah. SOD, MOD, Nuclear Assault, Metal Church, Death Angel, Testament. I love all that stuff, dude. I love the thrash sound, I love it. Old DRI. I love all these new thrash revival bands like Havoc. Havoc is like one of my favorite bands out in the last 10 years, man. Those guys are freaking amazing, man. We toured with them a couple of years ago with Soulfly, and they blew us off the stage every single night, man. Every night. Yes, I agree. Rocky George is very underrated, dude. Nuno Betancourt, another excellent guitar player, dude. I'm a huge Nuno fan. Absolutely huge fan of Nuno Betancourt, man. He's another one of my heroes growing up as a kid. And Rocky George, I always say Rocky George is one of my favorite, most underrated guitar players, What do I think of nu metal? Good question. I'll tell you in a minute. How to get that out of my system. All right, nu metal. So, like any other genre of music, there's the good and the bad. There's hair metal bands that I love from the 80s, and then there's hair metal bands from the 80s that I don't like, And it's the same thing with nu metal. I think there was nu metal bands that were freaking amazing, and then there was nu metal bands that I did not like at all. The good stuff like Slipknot. I used to love Chimera, although I don't really consider them nu metal, but they were kind of, in that sound, and then they got more metal as time went by. Right now, sorry to hear that, Freedom Seed. Sorry about your grandfather. But yeah, again, there was some really good nu metal, and then there was some really bad nu metal. I was not a very big fan of nu metal, but the bands that I did like, I did like a lot, Like, for instance, I went to go see Korn the other day, and I thought Korn, I'm not the biggest Korn fan, but I have a lot of respect for those guys as people. I toured with them. It was one of the best tours I ever did. and are super talented. And I think they created a whole sound, that whole new metal sound they basically started. Um, and they were great. But you know who I really enjoyed that night was Stain. Some of Stain's heavier stuff I love, man. So they were considered kind of like a new metal band. So you know, yeah, Jakey Lee was very underrated, man. It sucks that he didn't get the credit he deserved. Um, yeah, like I wasn't a fan of Limp Bizkit. I never liked that. But I love Slipknot still to this day. I think Slipknot is great. There were some other bands from that era that I used to like a lot. What the hell was that band I liked? I used to really like Dry Kill Logic a lot. They were really cool. I mean, there was some good stuff. Like any genre of music, some of it was cool and some of it was not cool. No, I did not. It's funny. I was not part of Roadrunner United. I would have loved to done it. And it was pretty weird that I wasn't asked to do it because I was just leaving El Nino at that time, and in Soulfly, and I had records out with El Nino and with Soulfly. But it's all good, man. They got so many bigger people on Roadrunner United that they asked to do it. I would have loved to done it though, yes, but no, I wasn't asked to do it at all. Boom. I probably drink about 2 pots of coffee a day. 2 to 3 pots a day. I love coffee, man. With cream and honey. I put honey in my coffee. I love it. Thank God I never got involved in drugs because I'm so addicted to coffee. I can't imagine. I would probably been a mess. But thank God I never got involved in that crap, and I was around it a lot. you know. Yes, I love Al Di Meola. He's one of my biggest influences, man. I love Al. He's one of my favorites. What's my opinion of that guy? that's the crew guy in Soulfly named Kenny, and he's been talking a lot of shit online. So put him in his place if you catch him. Yeah, look, man. He knows me. He knows how I roll. He's not. He can be. Sometimes he can be a nice guy, and other times he can be very rude, to say the least. And he's being very rude to a lot of people right now. So, is what it is, man. I guess he's mad with his life. I know I love my life. Things are cool here. I got a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girlfriend. I guess he doesn't have one at all. So maybe that's what he's mad about. Not my problem, though. So, what else, guys? Yeah, and he's rude to you guys. So, he's always been very, very disrespectful to you guys at the shows. So, oh, he's on social media. Yep. It doesn't even matter. Trust me. It's not even worth talking about. Complete waste of time to talk about, guys. I'm sure you're all doing more in life than he is. My favorite tour. Again, back to Korn. I always say that tour that we did with Korn in Russia was amazing. They treated us so good. They were just great. I mean, I didn't expect to meet those guys and hang with them, but we hung with them every day. We had full-blown catering, like 5-star chefs cooking for us. The food was incredible, and they would sit down and eat with us. There was no rock star, like, separation crap. They hung out and ate with us, and we flew on a private jet with Korn, like, all over Russia. I mean, how much cooler of a tour could that have been? Yeah, I met Jonathan Davis. He was a super nice guy, super humble, super cool. We flew on a private jet with these guys. They invited us on their jet. I mean, it was awesome. No, I never really got to meet Dimebag. I met him in passing. I got some, fist bumps. I probably could have hung out and talked to him more, but I don't like to bother people, man. I must have just told him that he's my favorite guitar player. I'm sure he heard it every day. The worst tour. Whew, man, there were some pretty bad tours, especially with Soulfly for a lot of different reasons. There were some very difficult tours that we did in certain countries, that weren't very nice to tour, and uh, I don't know why we'd even go. Honestly, a lot of times, a lot of these places we probably should not have even gone, just because it was probably dangerous, But we did it, and I know either way on stage I had a great time. Um, but yeah, there were some tours that were rough, But I dealt with it, man, and I love hanging with the fans no matter what country I'm in. So I've always had great experiences on tour. I think Aru's doing that new band with Chris. I think that's what they're doing. But right there, yeah, yo, look, man, Corn. I'm not the biggest fan of like new metal, but I have a lot of respect for Corn, especially after I toured with them and how cool they were to me, and how good they treated us on that tour in Russia. You know, yes, I love Systems of a Down. Those guys are awesome. That's a good example of a band that people would consider new metal that I love, man. I think Systems of a Down is awesome. I'm not just all about shredding, and I like good songwriting, cool riffs, and I think Systems of a Down has a lot of that. Yeah, right on Windows 95. I will be on here a lot more. I've been doing my workout videos too. I'm trying to get this YouTube channel to grow. And thank you guys for the support, and being part of this. You know what, dude? Central War, I did a playthrough of that, so you can watch the solo. I don't, honestly, dude, this is the crazy thing about Cavalera Conspiracy was we put out that record, which is a great record. I don't think it's as good as the first one. I still think the first Cavalera Conspiracy record is the best one. And I'll talk about that later, why I think it's the best one. There's a reason why. But the fourth one, Psychosis, it's a great record, no doubt about it. We never toured it. It made no sense. We put out this record, and then we never did anything at all. And that's because we were getting, I believe, bigger guarantees going out to do like Return to Roots, specifically in 2016. And that's where, it is what it is, but they changed the name basically from Cavalera Conspiracy to Cavalera. And business-wise, I no longer got a cut of, I was kind of an equal member of Cavalera Conspiracy, kind of. And we just stopped doing it to do this new thing that was called Cavalera, and I was just getting paid as a hired gun like I would be with Soulfly. It was kind of a fast one, and that's why I guess we never went out to do that, to play that record Psychosis live, which was a bummer because it was a great record. I thought we had a band, between Max and Igor and myself, and they just didn't want to do it anymore. They'd rather go out and play the Sepultura stuff and call it just Cavalera, and that's their decision. So be it. It is what it is. But that was a great record, Psychosis. I plan on putting a lot of those songs from Psychosis in Hail the Horn shows, and me and Tony will sing that. The Nail Bomb tour, again, I was just a hired gun. So honestly, I don't really like the Nail Bomb record. I didn't really enjoy that tour. I'm not really a big fan of the Nail Bomb record. It's just not really into industrial music, and to me it sounded like Sepultura with an industrial vibe and missing Andreas's great solos, which was always my favorite part of Sepultura, was the excellent solos that Andreas did, and that was missing in Nail Bomb, so it kind of went over my head. Which band do you enjoy more to play? I did enjoy playing Cavalera Conspiracy more in the beginning. It was more thrashy. I had more involvement. But again, it just basically just disappeared. Will they even do it anymore? I don't even know. I won't be part of it, obviously. So I don't really know what their plan is with it. It just seems like they want to just go out as Cavalera and just keep it, like the Max and Igor show. Which, so be it. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But we had something very special, I think, with Cavalera Conspiracy. And what a lot of people don't know, Joe Duplantier from Gojira was part of that record, and he wrote a music on that record that he never got credit for. I think that's why he didn't stick around for the second record. I think that's why he didn't do the tour that we did, because I think he just was like, yo, man, I just wrote like a whole bunch of songs. He even played some rhythm guitar on that record. I had a wedding to go to during the recording of Cavalier Conspiracy's first record. I had to leave town for like 2 or 3 days. They were in LA, so Joe, I didn't even know he did it, but he picked up my guitar and he recorded, some of the rhythms. I mean, and that's fine. He wrote a lot of that stuff. He recorded, and he didn't get any credit for that either. If you read the credits on the record, it says, that all music was written by Max. And that's not true. Joe Duplantier had a lot to do with the writing on that record, Yeah, I got my DVD, my instructional DVD, dude. We were doing a clinic. We were planning on doing a live clinic on Zoom and get a bunch of people. So look at my social media. I think we're still going to plan to do that. I'll announce it soon. But again, that first Cavalier Conspiracy record, what made it so special was that you had Igor and Joe Duplantier, and Joe had a big part in the making of that record. And he never got credit for it. Nowhere on that record does it say written by Joe. I think, Joe is such a nice guy. I think he got into it with management about him getting songwriting credit. And I think he just was like, man, I don't even want to deal with this. I think he was like, I got my own band, Gojira, that's doing great, so I'm just going to step away. And I think that's what happened with Joe. And, man, good for him, because Gojira is an incredible band, obviously, very cutting edge and original, and have their fan base. And he's way better off doing Gojira, But I'm not going to, I'm going to tell you the truth. Joe had a lot to do with the writing on that record, and that's what made that record so special, and that band so special, So yeah, that's how it goes, Some of these questions, a lot of controversial stuff, guys. A lot of controversial stuff going on here. Yes, I have a lot of respect for Igor. He's a great drummer, obviously. I love all those old Sepultura records. He's a shredder, and it was always a lot of fun playing on those Cavalier Conspiracy shows with Igor, because, I always enjoyed his thrash metal style of drumming. I'm a huge fan of thrash metal, so. But, yeah. Take that to the bank, what I said about Joe Duplantier. I mean, he's super talented and incredible guitar player, songwriter, and that's what made that band special, guys. That's what makes any super group or a band special, is when everybody comes in. Look at Led Zeppelin. That's what made them special, Yeah. The backpack. Yeah, pick my brain, dude. I'm here to talk, and I'm very honest about stuff. Some things I try to avoid to not talk about. So you got to use your own brain and figure things out, It's all pretty obvious, a lot of stuff. But hey, this is my YouTube channel. And you know what, man? I'm super stoked to be doing my own thing and talking about these type of things, because a lot of the stuff I kept bottled up for a very, very long time. I was in that band for 18 years. And there's a lot of things that I kept bottled up, and I'm ready to talk about a lot of things now. And I'm super stoked now to be in a situation like Hail the Horns, where we're going to play a lot of those songs that you know me for. Revenge Beast, where I'm going to continue writing that style of riffing like I did on the first Cavalier Conspiracy record, and on the second one, and Psychosis. Revenge Beast is going to be very death metal influenced, And then again, like I said about El Nino, man, this new record that I'm going to be recording with El Nino. We're going to put out, I promise you, a record that a lot of metalheads, their heads are going to be turning, man. People are going to be tripping when they hear this new El Nino record that I'm part of. But hey, man, I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel, man. So, you guys got questions about those riffs, this is the place to come. Right here. Come to my YouTube channel, and I can talk to you guys one-on-one like this. Hey, thank you, Tito. I'm glad you like that riffing, dude. I was a big part of Cavalera Conspiracy riffing. Pull up the videos online, you'll see it. My hand never stops playing, ever. So, figure it out. For 6-string, if you're tuned to standard like I am, I'm in standard E. I like to use 10s. I'm very comfortable with 10, gauge 10. 11s I can get away with. 9s are a little bit too slinky for me, but I'm not that picky, man. As long as they're not like 12s, that's way too thick. I'm not gonna be able to bend 12s. All right, I'm gonna do one more song for you guys, all right? And then I met my quota. I was trying to come on here for about an hour to hang with you guys. So I'm gonna do one more jam. Thank you for all those great questions, man. You know what, dude? I really appreciate you guys and these questions, man, because there are down in Florida. I'll be in Florida, I think, end of November. You guys have a lot of questions. There's questions that need to be answered. There's a lot of mystery and wondering. And you guys deserve the truth. As fans. You deserve to know the way a record was made, a way a riff was played. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all adults here, man. And you guys have questions. A lot of you guys have been listening to these records for 20 years, man. And wondered how it was made, and this is where you come for the truth. This is where you come for real information. And I'm always trying to be respectful. I'm always trying to take the high road and be positive. But there's a lot of questions I know you guys have, and you want to know, how to play this stuff too. I mean, this is where you're gonna come to learn how to play this. Like you would never know how to play that Frontlines riff anywhere else. Like it's a secret little lick that I created, and this is where you come for that information. So come here, spread the word. I'm here to speak the truth and show you guys what's up. I think I did this one. That's a good one. I do like that funk jam. Here we go, funk in G minor. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate it, dude. I'm gonna try to grow this channel a lot more. So I really appreciate you guys' support. What that is? What StreamYard? I don't know what that is, bro. I'm thinking about doing like a private Zoom lessons that you guys can join up for. used them a lot in Cavalera Conspiracy, but I'm not a big fan. They're cool. It's just I find I get a little out of control when I have one. I'm like, and I like to try to play more melodic to make noise. Pantera. I love Dimebag. I wish Dimebag played for Slayer, right? I'd be a student world just because I love thrash metal, and absolutely love Dime, and I love Pantera, but I think Pantera, they kind of they started to slowly get away from the thrash metal sound, from Cowboys from Hell, which is my favorite Pantera record, the second side of Cowboys from Hell. They started getting more groovy, tuning lower. Slayer, to me, Slayer never really, Slayer always stayed thrashy. Even when they kind of changed, for the most part, they always stayed more, thrash metal over the years. And in my opinion, they never put a bad record out, ever. Slayer, to me, they're the greatest of all time. The GOATs, I love Slayer. I wish I could have played for Slayer, man, they're my everything, dude. They're my go-to band. My two favorite bands of all time, Overkill and Slayer. And those are freaking some of the craziest thrash metal bands. I really wish Pantera would have made more records like Cowboys from Hell. I wish they would have made like 4 or 5 more records like that. And I wonder if Dime was still around today, and Vinny, if the new Pantera records would be a little bit more in tune with the old thrash stuff, just because of this whole thrash revival with bands like Havoc, Municipal Waste. I just love that sound, dude. I love down picking, chugging, and fast riffs. But for me, Slayer, they're the best, dude. I mean, never put out a bad record. I would almost say old Sepultura, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of the records before Andreas joined. I love Gyro. I love his new band, Troops of Doom. I think it's freaking awesome. But I didn't really get into Sepultura until Beneath the Remains. And I need to go back and listen to Schizophrenia a little bit more. Just because, that's when Andreas first joined. But once Andreas joined, those solos, I was hooked, But that's nothing against Gyro, because I love Gyro. He's a great guy. He's a great guitar player. And his new band, Troops of Doom, you have to check that out. It's some of my favorite new shit going on in metal right now, dude. Troops of Doom is, like, freaking awesome, dude. They're fucking great. But my point is that even Sepultura, man, like Roots, I was never a fan of Roots, man. That was a little too new metal for me. I never understood how my favorite thrash metal band was influenced by a band like Korn, because it was Korn influenced that Roots record so much, man. Which is cool if that's what you're into, I mean, again, I have a lot of respect for Korn, but I didn't need my favorite thrash metal band to go in that direction, But I do super appreciate the percussion and the Brazilian influence on Roots. That was definitely really cool. I just wish that they would have did more thrashy riffing, than the whole new metal Korn thing, I don't know. I'm kind of picky with my music, so what are you gonna do, Some of you people hate instrumental guitar, right? I love it, so it is what it is. All right, guys. Well, thank you, man. We did a good one today. I'm gonna try to come on here a lot more often, so keep in touch with me here. I don't know if you can message me here on YouTube, but you can private message me on Facebook, Instagram. You know, I'm here, man. I'm hanging with you guys. You know, again, this is a very exciting time in my life right now. There's a lot of change going on. Um, you know, El Nino, Hail the Horns, Revenge Beast, my solo stuff. I got 4 projects that mean the world to me, guys, and I'm gonna be working very hard, practicing, and always giving 100% to you guys, man. I would never go on stage and not give 100%, on stage and off stage. So I'm your boy, I'm your friend. Don't forget that. All right, guys. I love you guys. So keep in touch, all right? Good conversation today. Get some of your questions ready for next time. And we're just going to hang like this, dude. I jam, I talk, try to take requests. If I don't know the songs, I'll try to go back and learn them, you know. Cool. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate all the support. You guys rule. You guys are awesome, especially during this time of me leaving Soulfly. You guys have been super supportive. I never thought that I would have so much love from the fans, man. It's really been amazing, and I super appreciate that. And I promise you, when I get back out on the road with El Nino or Hail the Horns or my solo stuff, I'm hanging out at every single show you can find me and come say what's up. Okay? Have a great day, guys. Have a great night. Peace.